So we're going to do a quick workshop on how to become a seduction sniper. See, when you become a seduction sniper, it means that you know your target. You know exactly what you want. You're aiming for it and you're waiting for it and you're patient and you're going to get exactly what you want because that's what a sniper does. A sniper goes out and looks for that target and it just is patiently waiting for that right shot, that opportunity. So if you're out there, you're trying to find the one or you're trying to find the ones, it doesn't matter. You still need to know what is your target. You can't just randomly, you can, but you won't be as successful if you randomly go out there and just try to holler at whatever comes your way. Now you're a victim of whatever circumstance you're in. You don't have a plan. This is how you get a plan. You have to know who your target is. But before you know who your target is, you need to know you. You're the weapon and you have weapons. So what are those? And you need to know what your capability is. I mean, how far do you got to be to take that shot? You got to know what your training level is. You got to know all of this. So there's two parts to this really quick workshop. And I'm going to put this in a little worksheet that you can download anyway from the description. But basically, you want to divide it into two parts. You want to profile yourself, then you want to profile her. So we're going to divide this up into those two categories, right? So for yourself, we are going to look at four main areas that you need to look at for yourself. And you need to do this regardless if it's because you try to become a seduction sniper or you're looking for your soulmate, whatever it is that you're doing. And these four areas are the physical, the spiritual, the connection, and the financial. So these four areas are not necessarily in that order, but they are all important in you becoming the best that you could be, right? Because when you talk about physical, if you don't have health, you have nothing. If you can't breathe and you can't walk and you're laying in bed, then unfortunately, everything else doesn't really matter because you got to keep your health up. It's not about vanity. It's not about looking good. It's not about any of that. That's a side effect of you being healthy, right? So you want your physical, you want to focus on your health. If you need to take supplements, if you need to go get checkups, if you need to get vitamins, whatever you need to do to become the best self that you could be, do that. Obviously, that goes into exercise when possible. And that also goes into you basically taking care of, I call it supplement. I mean, obviously supplements or diet. Because your diet is so important for your health. We know this. Not just your health physically, but also your mental health. Because what you eat can put you in a certain mood. So if you know that eating something puts you in a bad mood, don't eat that. But you probably don't even know. You probably eat and you don't realize that certain food elements can put you in certain moods. Some of them might motivate you. Some of them might depress you. You need to find out. And this is something you got to do some inner work and find out what are the foods that are beneficial to you and what are the foods that are harmful to you. And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at what level of detail you can get to when you start getting to know yourself this way. Then we go into the spiritual. You got to have a belief. And if you're an atheist, you don't believe in God, that is a belief. But you need to be clear on what it is that you believe in. You need to be clear, absolutely no doubt, that if you don't believe in God, that you don't believe in God. And if you believe in God, that you believe in God. If you believe in a higher being, if you believe in Buddha, whatever it is, I'm not talking about religion per se. I'm talking about you need to have a belief, a grounding. If you believe in destiny, like for example, I believe in destiny 1,000,000%. So that means that I can't believe in free will because that goes against destiny. Free will is saying I make things happen. And to a certain extent, we follow our destiny and make things happen. But if I believe in destiny, then I already know that was for me. It doesn't matter how much I fight, how much I try to stop it, how much I try to get it. What's for me is going to be for me at the time that it needs to be for me. That's believing in destiny. When you believe in free will, you don't believe in destiny. So you believe that drunk driver that crashed you in your car, that you made that happen. You believe that when it rains, that you made that happen. That's what free will is, saying that you have control over our natural environment. To me, it doesn't make sense. But it's okay if you believe that. And the one thing is, you can't believe in both. You got to have a belief. You either believe in destiny, you believe in free will. But it doesn't even matter as long as you have a belief. You got to be clear. You got to be crystal. You already have it. You just need to find out what it is that you believe in, and you got to be crystal clear, and don't deviate. Don't change beliefs every 2 seconds. That's not having a belief. That's having a crisis within you, an internal crisis. So spiritual is very important, because once you get grounded in the spiritual work, whatever it is that you believe, whether it's meditation, whatever it is, then you start embracing that and you start using it to your advantage. You start using it when your mind is foggy, when you start having tools from the spiritual realm that can help you in all the other areas in your life. Then we're going to go into the financial. The reason the financial is so important is because in the economy we live in, and I'm speaking of the United States, then obviously you need money to pay rent, to pay bills, to live, to eat, things like this. We're not out there hunting for our food. We're not out there, farm cropping and doing a lot of things that maybe we should. But when you're talking about financial, then you got to talk about freedom, right? Because what is it that you're looking for? Are you looking to be rich, or are you looking to be free? Because you could be rich and not be free, right? Because you can make $1 million a year and spend $1 million a year, and you're as broke as that other broke dude over there. So what are you looking for? Are you looking for financial freedom? Are you looking for wealth? Are you looking for to build wealth for your family? You got to figure out your financial situation, and it's got to be at a place that keeps you happy, because you can be happy with $10, or you can be happy with $10 million. But if you don't have the $10 million, you're going to be very unhappy until you get it. But if you don't have $10, the likelihood of you getting $10 is a lot better than the 10 million. That doesn't mean that you got to lower your standard on what you want, but you got to be financially clear on what it is that you do have, and what are you trying to get, and what's the path to get that. And when I say realistic, doesn't mean that don't dream big. I'm saying right now, what's happening right now, because a lot of people are living in the future, and they're spending money they don't have, because in the future, I'm going to make $1 million, so I'm going to buy this now. No, be realistic about where you are now. Doesn't mean you won't have it in the future, but wait until you get it before you spend it. Credit, all of that financial, that goes under financial. That's going to give you the freedom that it is that you're looking for. Connection. Those are your relationships. This is an important part to all of this as well, because your connections, your relationships can bring you financial. You can meet wealthy people that can help bring your financial goals up to where you want to be. You can meet people that are going to help you physically. Your doctor can help you physically, your gym trainer, whatever. You can meet people that can help you physically to get the supplements, the diet. You can do all of that. And you can meet connections that help your spiritual world develop, so you can be better at that. So your connections are mega important. These are all, you cannot separate these. These are all part of you, of yourself. So the connections, we're talking about relationships, which is where we're going to skip to creating her profile. Because when you start looking and being clear about the type of connection you want, then you start being a lot more selective, and you start getting more quality people in your life. So when we go to herself, here we're going to do we're going to put her before she exists. We're going to create her. And we're going to create her in our minds. We're going to feel it, and we're going to pretty much manifest, if you believe in that. Or if you don't believe in manifest, you're at least going to be honed in, because this is a part of the sniper. You're over here. You already know what your weapons are. You already know where you are, what kind of rifle you got. You got everything already set. Now, who are we looking for? And where is she? And how does she look? Because you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to make a mistake when it comes to your connections, because the wrong connection can bring all this down. It can bring it all down. So we're going to start with everything that you need to have in a person, and we cannot separate it into, oh, I just want someone to love. No, no, no. This isn't about love. This is about finding that person that's going to elevate you. And in turn, by you elevating, you elevate them. You don't want to leave that to luck, chance, circumstance. Hopefully not. Nah, there's no room for that. Not when you're a sniper and you're in another country, and your life is at risk and you're trying to take a shot because that's your job. So this is the same thing with this. You only got one life. You're already living this life. Don't waste your life meeting people that are not worth it, that are going to set you back for years. Look, we're going to start with the look. We're gonna divide it into four as well. So, and I know looks, it's like, oh, well, it doesn't really matter. Looks matter. You got to be attracted to this person. Looks, and then let's divide it to looks and aura, right? Because also the look, it doesn't necessarily because, oh, I want her to be a 10. It's more, what does she inspire in you? Because my 10 might not be your 10. So you got to put here, like, what's your 10? We're also going to go into the mind and humor. And we're going to go into the talent and purpose. And we're going to go into the vibe and lifestyle. So this should be compatible with this. You don't need her to be here. You need this to complement this. Right? So looks, be honest. What do you like? You like big booty girls, you like skinny girls, you like blonde, whatever it is that you like, you gotta be honest with yourself. This isn't a job interview. There's no need to be inclusive and PC here. This is about, you like Latinas with this and that. You like, Asian girls with whatever it is. No one needs to see this. This is for you. You created this list. You need to write all this down, and you create it for you, and you put this away. This is for you. This is for you to understand you. This isn't for me, for any one of your friends, any of that. So your looks, for example, I'm a sucker for long hair. Like something about long hair, just to me, I like it. It says health. It says a lot of things to me. I like long, healthy hair. Right. So those are things about looks, or, you may like a certain complexion. You might like certain eyes. I love, symmetry. Right. There's this thing called the golden ratio. That's where there's a face, when you measure the face, where the eyes are positioned as opposed to the mouth and nose and all of that. It gets deep into that. Maybe one day we'll do an episode on that. But, I love, golden ratio, adjacent, because no one's perfect. But there's certain things that I like in a look, right? And then the aura is like they gotta have a little sexiness to them. For me, and what's sexy to me, like the walk, there's women that walk a certain way that just drives me crazy. And there's other women that, even though they're beautiful, they just they lack that flavor that I like, right? So these are all things that you're gonna go in the look, and you're gonna make a long list of all of that. You want blonde hair, you want blue eyes, you want all of that. You're gonna put that on that long list. Then you can move to different things. Now, talent and purpose. I'm also a sucker for a talented woman. Like I love that's a turn on more than looks. I will put that one. Talented women, whether she's artistic, or she plays an instrument, or she sings, or she's great at math, or she's got some kind of genius level, something that I love. Women that have something special to them, a special talent. And I will always put that first in looks, because I can see right through the looks into that talent. So you got to look into, what is it that you like? What is the purpose of this woman? Like, do you like women that, that they have special gifts? Do you like women that are more, I don't know, they're great at fixing cars, or they're very mechanical, or they're great at with their hands, or every person in the planet has a special skill, special talent. You want to put that here. What is their purpose? What is their talent? And you create this. You don't know this girl. So you can go as crazy as, like, I want her to be a singer, soprano, and I want her to be a painter, and I want her to be a theater actress, and I want her to be a college professor. I want her to be a brain surgeon. Go crazy. This is your list. Put it there, but also don't go crazy in how many. Pick. Be specific. Be specific on your target. Mind and humor, very closely related. Mind. I think we all appreciate intelligence, right? So I think it's easy to say that we want a certain level of intelligence that we can appreciate, because a lot of times there might be women that are way above our own level of intelligence. We wouldn't even get it. So you're not going to enjoy that. And then you also don't want women that are so, out of touch with who they are, that are not at your level of intelligence that you're looking for. So you want to be challenged, but you don't want to be overly challenged, and you don't want to be under challenged. You want to be, challenged. And whatever that is, you're gonna write that there. You're gonna be like, I like women that make me think. I like women that read. I like women that ask me the perfect questions. I like women that have a good vocabulary. I like women. You start honing in on what is it that you like about her mind. Now, the humor to me is very important, because to me humor is a sign of intelligence, and I don't like the in your face humor, even though I like it in my personal style. I don't like it from a woman, right? What I love about a woman, I love sarcasm. I think sarcasm is one of the most intelligent humors there is. I love darkness. I love dark humor. Like when me and her can just laugh at something so wrong. To me, I enjoy that. Well, we just connect that in a way that, whoa, yo, like, did you see what I saw? Yeah, she saw it. And I love that. I love that kind of humor. So find out what your humor style is and put in there, you like a silly girl, you like a serious girl. You gotta put, like, go nuts there. Go nuts, because that's important. This is what's gonna keep you 24 hours with this person and you enjoy their company. And lastly, the vibe and lifestyle. So what is this? That's what I was talking about, the walk in the physical sense. Now, the vibe is somewhere, do you like the rockabilly girl? Do you like that goth? Do you like her, very sexy feminine? Do you like her a little, she likes sports? There's so many, different types that you got to be like, if you like a sporty chick, and then she's always in her sweatpants, and she's, working out and jogging and doing all this, and that's what you like. If it fits what you do, then that's perfect. Then you put it there. I like sporty. Or if you like, like feminine, I love feminine, right? And but for me, feminine means that, she's going to take 2 hours to get ready, things like this. But she's always, even when she's at her worst, she's at her best. And that's a skill that some women have, that they can wear pajamas and just look sexy. There's, some that maybe not so much, but every woman has a special area. So you got to find out what that vibe is. And then the lifestyle. The lifestyle means, are you a homebody or you like to travel? If you like to get up, get your suitcases, like, yo, let's go. Where we going? I don't know. We're going to take a flight. We're going to go somewhere. We're going to go on a car ride. We're going to come back after this weekend. We'll come back in a week. And she's like, okay, she got her suitcase ready with you, and she's not tripping. She's like, let's go. That's a lifestyle. That she's a traveler. She's down to go with you wherever you want to go. That's what people like to be homebodies. She don't want to go to the movies. She want to watch the movie at home. She'd rather be at home watching Netflix under the blanket, all of that. And there's room for all of that, but there's a certain lifestyle that you're going to have women that are going to push more towards the Netflix and the blanket than to get on a flight and go sip margaritas in Mexico. When there's other women that are going to be more about that, hey, let's go here or there lifestyle. And if you're more like you like to be home and you like to chill, then that might not be a lifestyle for you. So you got to really put that lifestyle that you're looking for, because you don't know this woman yet. Remember that. So you're going to put the lifestyle here. You want to be able to travel, do all of these. You create this long list. You go detailed. You go hard. You maybe even think of things that are not here. You go, okay, I want this. This is her, and this is you, right? And then once you have this list done, you want to close that up. You want to, bam, put that paper together, and you put it somewhere where you can once in a while take a look. I guarantee you, if you do this on paper, if you do this and you can download it, I'm gonna make sure that I put it on the description or somewhere where you can link it and just download these elements. When you do this, I guarantee you it won't be long before one day you find that piece of paper and you go, wow, that's the person I found. Exactly who you said. Because see, once you say, hey, let's go look at every red car out there, then your mind is already looking for nothing but the red cars. Same thing with this. Once you say, let me look for all the girls that have these elements, then all the other ones become gray. And those ones that really fit what you're really looking for are gonna stand out. And it's gonna be like just automatic. It's gonna be like magic. You won't even realize that it's happening. And you're gonna put yourself in better situations than leaving it up to luck, leaving it up to hopefully one day, maybe I'll meet. No, you can't. Your life is too important for you to leave it up to luck. So hopefully this helps. It's definitely helped me. I probably should have done a lot of this a lot younger in my life, so I wouldn't have gone through so many heartbreaks, because that's what happens. You meet people and you fall into things, right? That's not the right person. They weren't fitting my criteria, but you kind of force certain things and you made them fit, and then you start sacrificing some of you so that you can fit into them. You don't want that. They have to fit here. They have to fit here. If they're not fitting here, do not force any of these things. If they're not just given, do not force it. You're going to end up in a bad situation. But man, trust me, I'm not talking about something I read. I've lived this. And trust me, you'll be in a bad situation when you try to force something that's not something you want. And you try to just in order to get company, or because you're lonely, or whatever your problem is, do not force someone that's not compatible with who you really are. And first, you got to get to know who you really are. So if someone needs to hear this, please share it, because I'm doing this for people to be like, wake up. Someone should have told me this when I was coming up. And I'm not going to be upset about it because I didn't have that. I'm going to do something about it, and I'm going to put it down, and hopefully you can share this with someone that needs it. Make sure you subscribe, and until next time, peace.